What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Sanad, and welcome to the second chapter in a series revolving around Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2, also known in English translation as The Life of Adele, Chapters 1 and 2, also known internationally as Is the Warmest Color, based on the graphic novel of the same name by Julie Maroh. The first chapter in the series was basically my review on the film and my personal love for it. That movie, if you guys and gals don't know, is without question my absolute favorite film of all time. I really love that movie so much. It is to me my saving grace, my holy grail, and without question the best film I've ever seen in my entire life. I really love that movie. You can watch the review if you wish. I'm going to add the link for that down below in the description box. And for the second chapter, it will be basically my perspective on adaptation and liberties taken when adapting a story, whatever stories it may be, from a novel onto the big screen. When looking at both Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2, and Julie Maroh's Is the Warmest Color, both films are very different in the approach taken to telling these stories, the stories of either Adele or Clementine. Clementine, who is the main character, the same character as in La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2, but whose name is very different, and her personality is somewhat different from that of Adele, who's played very well by Abdellatif Kechiche, my favorite actress of all time. But Clementine and Adele's story are so different. Their stories are drastically different up to the very end of their stories, the conclusion of either both La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2, and Is the Warmest Color. You can either love La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2 by Abdellatif Kechiche, or you can love Is the Warmest Color by Julie Maroh. It solely depends on your perspective, whether from the book or from the movie. I personally love the movie more than the book. I have read the book only once, and I have seen the film three times because the film is so emotional and so raw and very intense. It's so intense and so emotional to the point I felt violated, because the emotion was that real and that raw and that surreal, especially in the very end. And this is a slight spoiler for you guys and gals who have not seen the film, so if you don't want to hear what I have to say on the ending, please skip a few minutes into the video. At the very end of La Vie d'Adele, we see Adele, who's played once again so well by Abdellatif Kechiche, who walks off, and as Adele is walking off, she has gone through so much pain and so much misery after the breakup with Emma, her beloved girlfriend and someone who she holds dear to her heart. Adele was so heartbroken, but not to the point that she killed herself like Clementine in Julie Maroh's Is the Warmest Color, because Clementine took her own life via sleeping pills, whereas Adele simply walked off not knowing where she is to go next. But my interpretation of her journey, the third chapter in her journey, which I'll go into in the third chapter of this series, I'm going to go into more detail to the third chapter of Adele's story. But basically that ending felt very powerful. It felt very poignant and very surreal, because we know that Adele lives until the very end, and what happens to her next is left open and left ambiguous for us, the audience, to interpret however we will. So in that regard, I found the ending to La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2, to be more powerful, more emotional, and more poignant than the one told in Julie Maroh's Is the Warmest Color. Once again, guys, it depends entirely on you, your experience, and your perspective when reading Julie Maroh's novel or watching Abdellatif Kechiche's movie. When it comes to adapting a story, especially one as beloved and praised as Julie Maroh's Is the Warmest Color, you can only take so much liberty when adapting these stories. That being said, I personally found Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele, Chapter 1 et 2 to be a very powerful, somewhat faithful adaptation of Julie Maroh's novel. The origin behind Abdellatif Kechiche Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do, his adaptation came from two sources. One was Julie Maroh's graphic novel, and the second source behind La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do was a movie he made many years ago. It's called A Game of Love and Chance. It was Monsieur Kechiche's second film, A Game of Love and Chance, from 2001, and this film had one teacher who, much like Adele Exarchopoulos as Adele in La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do, was a teacher who was very passionate about what she does, about art and theater, and she loved sharing her passion with her students when it comes to both art and theater. And this teacher obviously was going through so much struggle and so much depression from her social life, which she tries to keep separate from her professional life as a teacher to her students who she loves so much. As one can imagine, it's very hard to keep both your social life and your professional life apart from each other because you have both your students and your families to worry about. This adds a lot of stress and pressure for the teacher, which became the second source for Abdellatif Kechiche when adapting La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do. Based on those two sources, Monsieur Kechiche brought to us La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do, which in my personal opinion is far superior to Julie Maroh's graphic novel Is the Warmest Color. In my personal opinion, to each our own, there was a lot of controversy surrounding Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do, one of which came from Julie Maroh herself. She described her experience watching the movie as very disappointing, and that this film was missing one crucial, one vital, one major key element of the story, which was the essence to her story and why her story is so beloved by many people, especially those in the LGBT community, and that's the fact that her story had lesbians, actual lesbians in Adele or Clementine and Emma. I personally don't agree with Julie Maroh, but that's my personal opinion and mine alone, because I personally believe Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do is far superior. Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do is somewhat faithful to Julie Maroh's novel, but as a standalone film, La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do is absolutely perfect and exceptional. I really love this movie so much. Whether Julie Maroh's graphic novel or Abdellatif Kechiche's film, this story, the love story of Adele / Clementine and Emma, is very precious to me because this love story saved my life many years ago in 2013 when I hated myself and I hated people so much to the point I wanted to kill myself, take my own life twice. It was because of Julie Maroh's graphic novel and Abdellatif Kechiche's film my life was saved. That was the second chapter in a series revolving around Abdellatif Kechiche's adaptation of Julie Maroh's graphic novel La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish. And once again, do check out my review for Abdellatif Kechiche's La Vie d'Adele chapter I Do. If you guys and gals want to see more from me, then please do check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming content, all that kind of good stuff. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.